What is going on, everybody? Welcome to your 17th Victory Monday edition of the Phaithful Phanatics show of this one particular Eagles season. The Birds are headed back to the Super Bowl the second time in the last 3 seasons after taking down, dominating, belt to ass the Washington Commanders yesterday at the link 55-23, the most points scored in a conference championship game in NFL history on the backs of Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley and Nick Sirianni and Zach Bond and Quinyon Mitchell and Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith and Dallas Goedert, and everybody absolutely showed up in this one for the Birds. Guys, welcome back to the Phaithful Phanatics show. If you are new to the channel, make sure to do yourself a favor, do us a favor. Follow us on Twitter at DSM_Media. Check out the link tree in our bio. It'll take you right to the YouTube channel, which is the best and only spot to get your thoughts, comments, and questions pulled up here with us. I'm one half of your host, celebrating with you guys today, Dylan Davis. To my right, my faithful co-host, Scotty. Drop your comments, drop your excitement, and join the conversation today by hitting that subscribe button, like the video, share it with your friends, family, whoever else you know is an Eagles or Philly sports man. Brother, 2 weeks to soak this in, 13 whole days to soak this in. We're going to talk about the Chiefs later on in the week. We're going to talk about the Chiefs all next week. This show is for one reason and one reason only, and that is to celebrate for the second time in the last 3 years being back in the bowl with an opportunity to hoist this organization's second Lombardi. Let's fucking get after it.
Yeah, let's fucking go, bro. The way they handled business yesterday was incredible to see, quite honestly. It just goes back to the several times we've seen them dominate at the link in the NFC Championship game. You come into the link for the NFC Championship game, you're not gonna make it out, bro. Not with a W. Not if you don't got that bird on your helmet. That's all I got to say after that performance. But man, what it feels like to be on the way to the Super Bowl as Eagles fans, with this organization, right? For the second time in 3 years, by the way, it feels amazing. You get the opportunity to get revenge. We're going to talk about that all next week.
We got plenty of time, baby.
Right? We're going to have plenty of time to talk about those guys. But the Birds getting back to the bowl, man, it's an awesome feeling to be one of two teams left, obviously, dominating your conference, dominating a division rival, putting them in their place. Just to be completely frank here, I would love to see the Commanders fans in here. We had the one dude calling.
Where'd they go, bro?
Last week, and
where'd they go?
All this shit, and now the Commanders are going to do this and that. Love humbling those guys. Love giving them a piece of humble pie. But on the other side, man, pat yourself on the back. I want to pat myself on the back, because I believed. We've been saying they were going to get
in this team.
Point.
See this color? See this logo? Believe in it. Over the next 13 days, believe in it.
It feels wonderful to be right. Nah, I am shouting. I'm having a brew, Martian. It's a celebratory. It is a victory Monday, brother.
It's the biggest victory Monday of the entire season, man. The 17th one of the year. This team is on an absolute tear right now. They haven't lost a football game where Jalen Hurts has started and finished since September 29th. They've only lost one football game since September 29th. And it was against this Washington Commanders team who we told you you don't get to come out today and talk about the fact that their quarterback is a rookie and give him a pat on the back for a great rookie season. Maybe the best rookie season a quarterback or a player has ever had in the National Football League. You don't get to do that today because you told me he had a great opportunity or was going to walk into that building yesterday, that stadium, and come away with a win. You told me he was better than the guy wearing this color, sporting the number 1. You told me that team was so hot. No. The Eagles did to them a little bit more. I'm not going to lie to you. A little bit more than I thought they were going to do to the Washington Commanders yesterday afternoon, man. But what a game. What a second half. And if it's not the best season, if it wasn't the best season you had ever seen a player wearing an Eagles uniform has ever had, all it took was one play. All it took was just a little HB toss like you're playing fucking Madden to take it 60 yards to the house after the Washington Commanders go on, what was an 18-play drive? 17, 18-play drive, 2 fourth-down conversions. Very aggressive.
Moving the ball, going
they come away with 3. You can look at that one of 2 ways. The Commanders went right down the field. They came away with points opening drive. Congratulations. You can look at it from the other way. Okay, we held them to 3, and it took 1 play. That took 18 seconds. That took 18 plays. This took 18 seconds for Saquon Barkley to turn this city and turn this game on its fucking head. And the Eagles never looked back. There were so many moments, man. Saquon Barkley, 15 carries, 15 rushing yards in this 118 rushing yards in this ball game, 3 tutties. Jalen Hurts, 20 of 28, 246 passing, 3 rushing tutties, a passing touchdown on a rope to AJ Brown. AJ 6 for 96, Goddard 85 yards. What an overall performance from this offense, man. Like we said to start the show, 55, the most in a conference championship game in NFL history. We're talking about the turnovers. The Eagles created 4 of them yesterday. This offense scored 4 touchdowns off of those 4 forced turnovers. So they were very clutch. They were very opportunistic in yesterday's ball game, man. But this team, they saved the best for almost last. Like they saved their best all-around performance for this one, man. I can't wait to just talk specifics.
Yeah. I feel you, because like when you watch that game yesterday, all you realize, and maybe it's more of like you see everyone around you realize it, because if you can't realize it at this point, like some of these studs on this team, brother, like Zach Bond yesterday, just making plays, punching balls out, like just making plays, right? Going out there, getting stops, getting turnovers, being in the right places at the right time, getting after the quarterback, getting after Jaden Daniels. I think on the defensive side of the ball, man, just seeing some of those studs across the board, it's vindicating, so good, man. It makes you feel wonderful knowing what you really have in this unit. But yeah, man, I'll start at the top with Saquon.
Go ahead.
The Washington Commanders, they came out, they tried to set the tone. Like, we'll give a little bit of credit to Dan Quinn, because if you come into Philadelphia, you do have to be ultra aggressive.
And they were doing the thing we were afraid of, right? They were extending drives.
The only thing I was confused about is, why do you stop going for it and just settle for 3 at that point? What at that point is different from the other times that you went for it on that drive? Yeah. Like, you're just cool with taking 3 right there. That's kind of defeating. And then you come out and you give up a 60-yarder to Saquon Barkley.
And shout out to Will Shipley, man, for that return.
Oh, yeah.
Will Shipley sets him up at the 40 right off of the field goal.
Will Shipley's a stud, too.
Stud.
He sets you up nice. Saquon makes 1 play. It was just amazing, because you see the 3 guys converging on him, and he hits the spin move, and I'm like, oh wow, like what a move, what a start.
I know.
In my mind, it's not even clicking that it's going to the house yet. Yeah. And then he cuts back,
and there's no one. It's just grass,
bro. Yeah. And just imagine what that feels like on the other side when that happens. After you, to your point, just had like an 18-play drive, you went for
points on the board
and got it right. Got the 3 points, scored on the first drive, really looked good, right, for what you wanted to do to start. And 1 play changes the entire momentum. I will say they did kind of bounce back a little bit. I'm trying to think of what happened exactly, because it was the Terry McLaurin touchdown is what I'm talking about, where I was we might have a game.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up.
Separated, right?
We'll dial into that, because it got to 14-12, and there's a moment that I want to talk about in a few minutes with you. Yeah. When it is 14-12.
Yeah.
2 minutes before halftime. I want to talk about that moment specifically soon with you. But I'm glad that you brought up Saquon first, because I was thinking, man, how are we going to dive into? How are we going to just
hard when everybody
revisit all of these moments and all these players, right? Glad you started with Saquon, right? Because he's been the story of the season for the most part with this team. If he's the engine, right? Yeah. And the way not only that he starts this game, man, but finding the end zone 3 times. 15 for $118. Like, he didn't even hit his over-under in rushing yards. His over-under was 126.5, bro. He didn't even hit the – but they gave him the ball 15 times. Obviously, he was dealing with the calf thing in the beginning of the game. But Saquon Barkley, dude, when you signed him back in, what was it, late February, early March last year, these are the moments you envision. You didn't envision 2,000 plus yards. You didn't envision probably most likely breaking Terrell Davis's all-time rushing record for an entire season, including the postseason. But you envision big moments in when it matters the most, right? Saquon Barkley, Saquon Barkley is surpassing like Bryce Harper level. Like if the Eagles win a Super Bowl, Saquon Barkley might be the most loved, most coveted Philadelphia athlete possibly ever. Like, literally, possibly ever. And watching him do what he did yesterday, man, the run, the night, the Steph, the tribute, the running through the end zone again. Even when he scores the first one, basically just telling, they do this all the time, but, basically telling Washington, settle the fuck down. Not just the rushing attack, bro. How many times did he pick up Frankie Louvu or a linebacker on a blitz? The one Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown when he took it like 8 or 10 yards to the left hole, and it was either Mailata or Juergens in the second level on a safety, and it was Saquon on a backer. It might have even been Frankie Louvu. And he picks him up, and Jalen gets in. Yeah, dude. Like, just seeing him celebrate with Will Shipley, like, he's that good of a dude. He's that good of a person, a human, a teammate. He's so likable, and he's not fucking human, Scotty. He's literally Superman, bro. Like, that first play. Are you kidding me? The first play of the game on offense, he takes it 60 yards to the crib, dude.
Ridiculous.
It's not human.
It's ridiculous. It's another level to be able to do that, man. And, like, you do got to give some credit to the offensive line, but that's Saquon Barkley, dude. Like, just out in the open field, making 3 guys miss with one move, and then cuts it back and just outraces everybody to the house. This is a conversation for another day. This is a conversation for if and when the Eagles win the Super Bowl. Because I'm telling you right now, bro,
win the Super Bowl,
win a championship, man. Like, I love AI. He's said
let me tell you why he's got. If they win the Super Bowl, let me tell you why he's going to be more loved than AI.
More step over moments than already.
Like, but let me tell you why.
You know what I mean?
The fact that, like, to Martian's point, like, that's the conversation. Yeah, Saquon's been here for one season.
Right. Not even a full one.
We have a lifetime. We have years on years of memories of Allen Iverson and the culture changer and shifter that he was. And, changed basketball even, right? We have all those moments. Saquon's been here for a cup of coffee, and he's already in that stratosphere. And if they win a Lombardi, in large part, if not the most part, due to him, that puts you, that elevates you, brother. That takes you to a different planet. So he's unbelievable. The fact that he's a running back is unbelievable, bro. I'm sure we'll circle around to him at some point.
Yeah.
But the player of the game, where's number 1 in Eagles green?
Yeah.
And that's Jalen Hurts, bro. For all the fucking questions, for all the conversation you had to hear about, this dude came out in the biggest game of the season and absolutely balled out. And the reason I said that moment you brought up, Scotty, that is the changing point. That is when this game went from close ball game to see you later. Let's get into celebration mode. 14-12, a little over 2 minutes left, around their own 45-yard line. 4th and 5. First of all, I would have punted. So big balls, Nick and Kellen came to play in this one. It worked. Shout out to them. Yeah. 4th and 5 on their 45. You don't get it. I don't want to call it a guarantee you're at least down 1 at halftime. Pretty good odds you're down 14 at halftime, if not worse, okay? And he drops a fucking dot right in the bucket to his wide receiver 1 down the boundary, bro. I wasn't going to go for it. I was nervous when they actually snapped the ball because it was 4th and 5. I'm sitting here like maybe they're just trying to draw him off sides. Then the ball gets snapped and I go, oh shit, they're really doing this. Then I see him dropping back to release the go route. And dude, all that's going on in my head is like, we've seen this movie before, Scotty. How many shows have we come on before over the last year and a half and go, why would you throw a 30-yard go ball on 4th and 5? And he drops an absolute dart right in the bucket to A.J. Brown. And the game never became a game from that point on. That was it. They marched down the field after that 4th down conversion. They score. They go into halftime. We get the ball. Stop. We get a stop. Score. And it was double digits basically from that point on, brother.
Yeah.
And on that, that was the drive. He also threw the perfect ball to AJ on the goal line. That was the same drive, I believe.
Because they had the drive. All right.
Am I wrong?
I'm trying to think. Because what was the
see.
drive where Marshawn Lattimore gets the penalty? What was that drive? That was the second touchdown?
Something like, yeah. Well, yeah, so it was the same play because AJ scored with 39 seconds left in the second quarter. So right before halftime.
Scored after that penalty happened. So yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, that would, because that would have happened on a drive before when we were down in the red zone, and I believe Jalen pushed it in on that drive, and that's when they got in that altercation. So yeah, I think you're right. AJ across the back of the end zone.
Right.
Yeah, he was on point, man. And I do want to give a little bit of credit to Kellen Moore as well. But yeah, Jalen Hurts, number one, bro. Like, it's so funny. Like, out of body performance. He only gave up 2 sacks yesterday, guys. Out of body, man. Out of body.
Under three, according to Pump, man.
Like,
where is he?
Before, so I'm not going down that road, but Jalen Hurts was like on the fucking money because he's a fucking winner. He plays winning football. That's what he does. He shows up in big moments. And he did that, man. He kept this train moving yesterday because he knew that that's what it was going to take to put those guys down in the dirt. And you did. You had to step on their necks yesterday. They were a team that came in with confidence. They had just went into Detroit and beat the number 1 seed. So, yeah, you can talk yourself into believing that you can come into Philly and beat them too. But Jalen Hurts led the way there. And let's give him some credit on the opening drive, on the opening play. Who changes the play at the line for Saquon to get the cross? What is it called? A crack? Toss crack?
Yeah.
Whatever it's called.
Toss crack.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not good with the play calls. Don't worry about that. But the crack toss right to the left. He switches the play, goes up to the line of scrimmage, gets an I formation, and he changes the play.
I think that is the evolution of Jalen Hurts, man. He changed plays at the line of scrimmage last week. He changed plays at the line of scrimmage this week with the Saquon first run. His touchdown where I mentioned Saquon's the lead blocker in the gap for the 8 or 10 yarder. That's changed at the line of scrimmage because he's diagnosing it. The AJ, the first down pass on 4th and 5, he noticed it was man, and then Lattimore comes up and press coverage at the very last second. He comes like that. So that's the evolution in Jalen, right? Like he's not turning the football over, right? And people don't love it because it doesn't look so pretty and sexy, and they're not high flying, and he's not throwing for 330 yards every 3 weeks or anything like that. He protects the football. They still do not have a turnover in the postseason. He has 1 interception since the fucking bye week, bro. And he's much better at the line of scrimmage. Yeah. Also, money yesterday against the blitz. I believe I bookmarked this just for this. Jalen Hurts in the pocket, not against the blitz. In the pocket in the NFC Championship game yesterday, 15 of 17 for a $192, a touchdown, and 133.3 quarterback rating. In the pocket this postseason, he's 38 of 50, which is 76% completion percentage, 394 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and a QBR of 118.3. I think the guy can stand in the pocket and deliver the football in big moments. Do you agree?
Yeah. Yeah,
everybody can shut the fuck up now, man. Okay?
I think so. I think he heard the noise again and delivered again because I think that's what he does. He wins games and he delivers. I'm with you all the way on Jalen Hurts. I want to shout out a few other guys on the offense. Just
absolutely everybody
as we're going through it here. Yep. Offensive line, they had a couple guys in and out yesterday. Did you notice? Did you notice that a couple guys were in and out? Landon Dickerson started the game. Cam Jurgens ends up having to come in. Shout out to Tyler Steen. Was unnoticeable which is always a great thing when you're
Correct.
a replacement, of course. But Dallas Goedert, bro.
Big time, bro. My uncle looked at me yesterday and said, I know he's made of
back.
porcelain. Like, I'm not trying to make jokes. He's made of porcelain. He's always missing time.
Yeah.
But he's a big part of the offense, Scotty. He really, and then, like you said this to me a couple weeks ago. I think after the Green Bay game, I know he's hurt, so they're not saving him because he misses 4 to 6 games a year. But dude, it's like even when he is playing in the regular season, they don't use the middle of the field. Where's Goddard? Then they get in the postseason. Same thing in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. Same thing against the Giants when he scored that ridiculous touchdown 2 years ago. They use him in the postseason, and it's humongous, dude.
Yeah.
He's a big-time part of the passing attack in the playoffs for this team.
Made so many plays yesterday. So many big first downs yesterday. A.J. Brown looked the healthiest that he's looked this whole postseason. Explosive yesterday. Out of some of those cuts after he catches the ball. That's A.J. Brown. I know weather's played a factor. Maybe that's part of it. He's had the lingering knee injury. Yep. He looked 100% yesterday, quite honestly.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned it with the little skirmish at the goal line, bro. Fire me the fuck up.
Oh, yeah. Dude. All the way. That is one thing I love about A.J. Brown, man. He's going to let you know about it. I love it because that's what this team's about. We play in your face football, man. So, like,
right, dude, we talked about it all year long. They bully teams. Scotty, there's not a bigger spanking on the schoolyard than what took place yesterday.
Yeah.
55, bro.
Yeah.
And you want the exclamation point? You want the cherry on top? The refs told us a rule nobody knew about because we literally were toying with them on the goal line. We literally kept lining up to do what you knew was about to come, and you were so frustrated because you couldn't stop it that you kept trying to leap over, and and then he gets told it'll be a personal foul. Then there's an encroachment call. Then they get told if you keep it up, we're giving them a touchdown because it is. Dude, you can't move the ball anywhere else. You can't do it. Yeah. So, and then if the Eagles false start, we're 5 yards backwards compared to them moving the ball, this far every time on the goal line. So that's what happens. It is in the rule book. Somehow no one knew about it. In the very next play, we toy with them, we punch it in. And that was literally like just balls on forehead. Like that's what that was. Like it was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Can I tell you one thing that is annoying though about the last 2 games that we've had? This is very minor. It's more of a joke. But the fact that the most talked about players going into a game on the opposing team has ended up like making a big play in the game. And I'm talking about Jared Verse. He had like 2 sacks in that game against the Rams. And then Frankie Louvu comes in the first half. He did sack Jalen Hurts in the backfield. And that shit pissed
he timed one up.
It pissed me off. But very minor complaint, bro. It's more of a joke. It's just funny. Those guys, they made plays. Kudos to them.
They're good football players. You just don't need the extra shit. And when you come here in big time moments, any little back and forth, any antics, any words is going to backfire. And
shout
that's
out to the Eagles yesterday. It's a great point right there. Shout out to the Eagles yesterday for not getting into that. You talked about the AJ skirmish. Yep. He did rip off Marshawn's helmet. He got away with that, whatever. Marshawn kept it going. He put his hands up, man. He could have engaged back. He usually does. Yeah. But if he does in that moment, the penalty doesn't just go on Marshawn. Correct. Same thing with the late hits. You had the late hit on Saquon. I do believe, Smitty, I'm not going to be picky when they were giving us some of those calls.
Dude.
Smitty got late hit as well out of bounds.
I remember that one. But, dude, I saw there were people, and they took screenshots of the Saquon late hit. There were people, like, bitching about that.
Yeah. He was like 2 or 3 yards
out of bounds. Yes. He was almost on the other side of the white. You know how thick that white, the white boundary is on the sidelines. He was almost on the green all the way towards the bench, not towards the field, when he got hit like that. And it's like, dude, I don't know what you expected, man, but
so much poetic justice in this game, man. Yeah, that's kind of what it is. Like
the offense,
so much. The same Strill comparisons that the Commanders fans were doing between him and Quinyon. Like, please, fucking stop.
I know.
Like, stop. He's the one that ended up hitting Barkley late. there was nobody out there guarding anybody on the Eagles, quite honestly. The Rams guarded the Eagles a lot better. The Packers attacked this Eagles offense a lot better with their defense as well, man. So
Yeah.
it is interesting. It was very vindicating, man. It felt very good.
You know, I'm sure we'll have some more will come to our mind, and we'll keep talking about this offense, man. But 55 points, they were fucking lights out. They were incredible yesterday. Yeah. But that was my whole point. Like this Saquon opening run to put us up 7-3. That was my whole point the last week or two. Like, even though the passing attack was much more dynamic in this game, Jalen was lights out. You had a couple deep explosive plays. The passing attack showed you, hey, you guys can shut the fuck up about this, right? Yeah. We could do it. But regardless, you had the big runs. You had like a 20-yard run where Saquon got tripped up on the 2-yard line right before we scored late in the game. Will Shipley, I know, was in garbage time. Backups were in. He hasn't. The point is, bro, it doesn't like people were so focused on it going through the air. Does the offense create explosive plays? Does the defense give up explosive plays?
No.
And yes, the offense does. It doesn't matter if it's on the ground. Everyone's so aware. Oh, it's not through the air. It's not through the air. They don't create explosives through the air. Well, they did yesterday, but it doesn't matter, man. When you have a 60-yard touchdown run, and last week you had multiple 70-yarders, and your quarterback had a 44-yard touchdown run, and this week Saquon has another 22-yard run, and there's a screen to Goddard that goes for 33. Like, dude, it doesn't matter if it's through the air or on the ground, and that's what this team showed you yesterday, and they did both.
To your point, man, just about, obviously the Saquon run to begin the game, I think it just speaks to what this team has done all season. And what I mean by that is they have kind of answered all the calls, obviously from the national media perspective, but even from the fan perspective. Like, you go out, you start that game, you give up like a 15-plus play drive to the Washington
18 plays.
You get unsettled, a little bit, right? You're like, is the defense on this today? Nah, the defense. You build back up. Don't get me wrong. It's not that you all of a sudden think you're losing because you're down 3-0, but you do start to just question things a little bit defensively, and then you're like, well, the offense has to answer. The offense has to answer. The ball can't just go back to the Commanders, right? Well, settle down. Settle down, Scott. Settle down, Dylan. Saquon's going to score on the first play. Calm your nerves. Relax.
And he literally runs around and goes, relax.
And I do want to speak to something else, man. He had a little calf thing going on, right? At the beginning of the game. Somehow toughs it up and ends up with over 100 yards, man.
Yep.
Figures it out.
This team, D-Rab is a great point, man. And I saw like media members not knowing what Cunha was doing, mocking the scary Terry after he gets the pick. Dude, he gave up one catch for 7 yards and had a pick at the end of this one. I know there was a comment about it earlier, but like I know we keep talking about the 60-yard run, and it's the fun thing to look at, right?
It was a tone setter.
But like, bro, you hear Kevin Burkhardt, who is like the main play-by-play guy, so he's calling the play as it's going on. Normally, the other guy will like stay silent while that's going on. Dude, did you hear Brady like let out the like as he cut it back across field? They both were like, oh shit, like, oh god, there he goes.
Because it was my feeling as well. Like, I couldn't believe that we're gonna start the game like this.
Yep.
Like, okay.
And he just continues to have moments after moments after moments. To Jose's point, and this I think can kind of transition us to the defense and the turnovers and everything this team, special teams, created as well. Because man, like I agree, Jose. Like I know the Commanders are a division rival. I don't have really that much beef with the Commanders. Like it's the Cowboys hate, it's the Giants hate, then it's the Commanders. Their fans are corny as hell. Like I'm being dead serious. I know a lot of people have like made this joke. I did not know there was a Hard Rock in Philadelphia. Now maybe that's poor on me. Didn't know.
I've never been there. I knew it was there.
Until they took it over. Okay. So you're doing that. You're dressed up the Rocky statue, which we talked about on Friday with no one around. Very weird.
Overnight, right?
Tried to, all the tweets about taking over. I really don't have any beef with them. I like Jay. If I'm being honest, like I like Jaden Daniels. I have no problem with Jaden Daniels. I think he's a very good player. I think he seems like
a very chill guy too, right? You see him.
I think he's a budding star.
Calm, cool, and collected. Honestly,
But the problem is That's not what I heard all week. And the problem is it wasn't just the Commanders and Jaden Daniels. You wrote the same chapter with Jordan Love and the Packers. And then you doubled down with Stafford and the Rams. And now you tripled down on Jaden and the Commanders. And you just keep getting spanked. Michael Strahan, I know he's a Giant, bro. I know he's a former Giant. He probably hates the Eagles. I get it. Michael Strahan picked against the Eagles in all 3 games on the Fox pregame show. Just be a little bit better, man. Just be a little bit more authentic in your analysis, okay? And you just keep getting spanked.
Yeah.
And in this one, you gave up 55, but the defense was just as good and opportunistic, Scotty. Special teams included as well. 4 turnovers in this game. Obviously, I know the Quignon, the interception. It's on Daniel's stat line. But they were down 25 at this point. It meant nothing with 4 or 5 minutes to go. I get that. But the fumbles were critical. Oren Burks continue to make plays. Zach Bond and Cooper DeJean making plays. Jalen Carter making plays. Jordan Davis getting in the backfield for a big-time sack up the middle. Nolan Smith now has the Eagles record for most sacks in a single postseason. He's up to 4.5 sacks in the first 3 games of this postseason, man. That's how much he has climbed and improved this year. Or like Nakobe Dean was locked down this year. He was great. Oren Burks isn't in fact, he's not just not unnoticeable. He's making big time plays in 2 or 3 of the first 3 games this playoff run for this team.
I won't lie
with this defense.
For me right now, man, and it's kind of been it's been the whole season. Like maybe I was just late to the party or something. Like I don't know. Zach Bond, man, like he's a superstar. I don't use that word like lightly in NFL terms. I feel like, but like he's a superstar. Like
playing a position he's never played before.
Yeah, exactly. Middle linebacker, bro. He goes out there, he leads the team in tackles. He's punching the football out. He recovered one. He's just always around the ball. He's just got a nose for the ball, man. He has a great feel for the game. He has been somebody that has thoroughly impressed me on this run. But to your point, man, guys on every level making plays. Every level of this postseason, by the way. It wasn't just this game.
Yep. Oh, no.
Point to see Jordan Davis go out there, get a sack. That's not his game. He's there for the run defense. No, he goes out there and he sacks Jaden Daniels, one of the hardest quarterbacks to bring down to the ground. By the way, bro, doesn't he look like a grasshopper? Like Jiminy Crickets or something? Like that's what he's giving me. That's what Jaden Daniels gives me vibes of. He's a very good quarterback, but just such skinny legs, bro. He's so frail. But
he is.
Them boys on that defensive unit. Vic Fangio, shout out to him. Something you texted me yesterday. It is something that is a little annoying.
It's annoying.
The end of half. Or end of half.
It's like their situational defense. It's when they get up late in games with 3 or 4 minutes left. They're up 2 possessions. It's the end of halves. Like, man, you can't tell me you guys are this dominant and this good, and you're not changing anything. And then they get to march down the field in 38 seconds and go score on you. You can't tell me you didn't change your play call, your scheme, whatever you were trying to prevent in those moments, because it happens, and it has happened over the last 2 weeks. It's very annoying. Yeah. They have to stop doing that. And I think after that, Scotty, that was kind of the last time Washington really put anything together and made this game close. After that is when they kind of dialed it in and stopped allowing those easy drives. But dude, like Zach Bond on that fumble, he literally chased De'Ami Brown from boundary to boundary almost. Like that's how De'Ami Brown picked up 9 yards on the play. Like I'm like, oh shit, like what's this? What are we doing? And then all of a sudden the ball comes out, Reed falls on it by the boundary, and I'm like, holy shit, dude! Like what a fucking, and Cooper was right there as well with his hands in the play. Like what a play! And Orlovsky, to his credit, Dan Orlovsky breaks down Fangio's defense very well for me, and it's something to keep an eye on as we get into this Chiefs matchup, because Spagnuolo does what? Spagnuolo will throw a bunch of different looks at you. He'll throw everything at you. He'll disguise things. He'll try to trick you. That's not Fangio and this Eagles defense. As good as they've been and as many turnovers as they have been causing, they're not trying to confuse you. They're very technical. They're very sound, and they all just do their jobs, bro. They fly to the ball in numbers, and he did a breakdown of like the one screenplay, which Washington loves to run, and it was like Slay, CJ Gardner-Johnson, and Bond in like this triangle on the outside where the slant where the screen was thrown to, and it was literally in perfect like synchronization. Like they all took 2 back steps, they all landed on their back heel, and they all broke towards the ball at the same time. Slay protected the outside, CJ Gardner-Johnson had head up with the lead blocker, and Bond came in to make the tackle from this way. The screen went for like 1.5 yards or whatever. That's what this defense does, bro. Those Miami Dolphins players that hated Uncle Vic, I don't know what your problem was, you soft-ass motherfuckers, because this dude has this defense flying around to the ball, forcing turnovers. And what took place yesterday was the culmination of what we've been waiting for. The defense has been good. The offense has shown flashes. Yesterday, the defense created their turnovers, and the offense fucking buried you off of them like they should with this much talent. They scored They scored 4 touchdowns off of all 4 turnovers, bro. By the way, and it's not just the defense. The defense only created 3 turnovers. Will Shipley's ass forced a turnover on a kickoff. That's the second kickoff forced fumble we have in 3 playoff games. That's huge.
It's opportunistic, man. It's what you have to do to get to this point. It's what you have to do. It's the extra shit.
Brian.
Brian, man.
I was talking. I just saw you got in here. What's up, brother?
I'm liking Brian's energy today. We all are happy today. I love that.
All today.
Yeah. Shout out Jalen Hurts, man. He balled out just so we could all be happy today. No, but I do agree with you, man. That defense across every level, they just deliver levels of confidence. I wanted to ask, that Austin Eckler punch out, was that Oren Burks or
yes.
Trip?
Yes.
He was the punch out, and then
I think Bond fell on it.
Okay,
I believe so.
Because I remember Jalen Carter missed it, and then
and he was sitting here like, oh shit, and then we still had it. And listen, that was a game-altering play as well, because I think we were up 11 at that point. I think it was 34-23. They were driving towards midfield in the second, late in the third quarter. And I'm just like, man, like they're picking up steam. If they go score here, it's a 1-possession game, 2-point conversion makes it a 3-point game. And Eckler gets up and the ball comes out. And then I remember like the official on the sideline comes running in and he's pointing our way. Yeah. And then they're still fighting. And then I see the ball go through someone's legs. And I'm like, bro, no, like you already like clearly clear recovery, touchdown. Man, and they stuck with it. So I was like, thank fucking God, bro. But yeah, you got the Oren Burks comments, you got the Zach Bond love, you got the Q love, you got all of it. Jalen Carter just again with another ridiculous day. And he had maybe the funniest moment of the entire game besides the tush push at the goal line and all that nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm not making fun of like violence or maybe someone getting injured or like knocked down. I've never seen a grown man, let alone like an offensive lineman in the National Football League. I've never seen someone get knocked down and injured being slapped in the head with a helmet on. He hit this dude so hard. Like he didn't just fall to like flop and try to sell a penalty. Bro, he laid there and had to be helped off and missed a couple plays.
Yeah.
That was like that's just how big this motherfucker is, dude.
I completely agree. When we were talking, my mind went to Quinyon. Obviously, the whole secondary has been great. Like CGJ has been wonderful. Reed Blankenship was getting a little eaten up yesterday. I'm not gonna lie.
Zach Ertz was
eating that man alive. Pause all of that shit. Whatever. Zach Ertz was dominating Reed Blankenship. But aside from that, I mean, these guys are dogs. Even Reed Blankenship, he's always in the right place at the right time to get those timely turnovers.
Yeah.
Quinyon Mitchell has this like underlying confidence.
Yeah.
I just feel like it goes through the whole team. Like it's just this like quiet confidence. And you got to see a little bit of the personality after he gets the interception yesterday, and he mocks Terry McLaurin. I
He's
love
funny, dude. He's funny.
He's a nasty little guy. He gets nasty on that field, man. I imagine that he's probably saying some derogatory shit out there.
Yeah, I would imagine.
He doesn't do all the extra shit. He just talks shit. Because guys we've seen it over the season. Guys get pissed off going against Quinyon Mitchell, but that kid is talented, bro. That kid, a first-round pick, a corner, a rookie corner. You think about the way like Jaden Daniels is talked about as a rookie quarterback, and I know it comes with a lot of pressure, a lot of responsibility as a quarterback, especially on that Washington Commanders team. But like, is it easy stepping up and being basically CB1 for a defense in your rookie season?
Right. There's no way.
It doesn't make sense how you can come into the NFL as a rookie at that position and have that type of confidence against guys like Terry McLaurin, who they call Scary Terry.
Yeah, I know.
Made a play in the game. He did make a play,
bro. And I'll add on, like, obviously Q's the CB1, right? Cooper's a little bit more specialist, like slot type of guy, whatever. Those two could not have lived up to the hype and the expectations anymore. And then you put them, not only are they huge factors as to why we've reached this level, you put them in this situation surrounded by all this talent and these coaches to where they're in the Super Bowl their rookie year and making impact their rookie year. Now get to go face off against Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce in a Super Bowl in 13 days. Like to have those moments this early in your career is only going to make you better. And obviously I know that's not what we're thinking about right now. We have one goal, one more to accomplish. Right. Job's not done. Right. But like, looking ahead towards the future of the secondary for this defense, for this team, this only just goes so much further for these two as they continue to grow. So, they're so fucking.
You think about this, man. Saquon getting to his first Super Bowl, his first season with the Eagles, like Jalen Hurts in his second Super Bowl in 3 years. It is amazing to think about here, man. Because I'm sitting here looking around. Like we look at Aaron Rodgers, for example, who is supposed to be this Hall of Famer type of quarterback. Jalen Hurts he's going to the Super Bowl for the second time already in his career. It's just insane to me. I won't lie to you, Dylan. I don't know if you can hear me on your end, bro, but you froze on my end. So I'm gonna hop out really quick.
Yo, can you guys see me, man? We're about to have a whole shitstorm. All right, I'm back in. I don't know if Scotty's got messed up too, but now I have a feeling we're gonna go through this whole thing. No, I can see Scotty now. Can he see me? You good?
Yeah, we're good.
We both got hit. All right.
All I was saying, Dylan, I was just giving Jalen Hurts his flowers, bro. Second Super Bowl in 3 seasons. In the past 3 seasons, obviously, you've heard the talk over the lengths of careers, right? Like Aaron Rodgers, for example, might not be the best example right now where he's at in his career. This is a guy that we had penciled in as a Hall of Famer, right? And he does have the accolades. He has the performances, the stats, and the MVPs, maybe. But Hurts has already been to more Super Bowls. He's going to have been to more Super Bowls than a guy as highly touted as Aaron Rodgers.
Jalen,
we know the Eli Manning stories over the years, right? But Hurts is obviously, in my opinion, a lot better than Eli Manning ever was, man. This guy wins football games, bro.
Yeah, man. Jalen is the first quarterback to lose his first Super Bowl and then get back to another one. So like, obviously guys have been to multiple Super Bowls. Duh. They have won their first Super Bowl and then have been back and either have won and lost other Super Bowls. Jalen is the first one to lose, feel that, kind of just be in bad territory, right? And feel that failure and then get back there. Not just get back there 2 years later. And especially the way that last year ended. So to kind of bring this all together, because Jalen has gotten his flowers today, Saquon has gotten his flowers, and the line and AJ and Goddard and Smitty and everybody on the defense. Will Shipley has gotten his flowers. Kellen Moore has gotten his flowers. Vic Fangio has gotten his flowers. There's one important person left to talk about that we have not discussed today on this celebratory show as the Eagles head back to the Super Bowl, man.
Yeah.
And that is the head coach of the football team, because believe it or not, he gets credit for this.
Absolutely.
I remember all the way back in week 3, I wouldn't have allowed him back on the bus or the plane from New Orleans. In a game that they won, I would not have allowed him back on the plane to Philadelphia. Then they lose in ass-kicking fashion in Tampa. They're 2-2 into the bye. They play Cleveland at home with backup quarterbacks or whatever. That disgusting team that came to town. We barely beat them, and Nick's barking at the fans. And what the fuck is happening this season? Everything is ass backwards. There's leaks and articles coming out, and AJ's unhappy, and Jalen's a different person. All these rumors are swirling. Same shit as the end of last year. Can this guy coach a team in the National Football League? If he wasn't the coach here, would he have a job anywhere else? Those were the things going through my head. I'm not going to necessarily say I apologize, because he was doing a lot of questionable things that were hurting this team. Hell, even later on to the winning streak, the Jacksonville game, when he just kept taking 9 points off the board.
Yeah.
Guys can improve. Guys can learn from mistakes. Guys can get better at things they do and their jobs as time go on. So believe it or not, Nick Sirianni deserves just as much credit and his flowers for where this team is right now, because I hate to break it to everybody. If Jalen Hurts is a winner, if all Jalen Hurts knows how to do is win football games, guess what that makes Nick Sirianni? A fucking winner.
Yeah. They're two guys that were
Nick Sirianni. I know we're not getting into this game today, Scotty, but he is one win away. He is 60 minutes away from being the greatest coach in Philadelphia Eagles history.
Yeah.
Argue with a wall if you want to. Not you, but people out there.
To your point, I will apologize to Nick Sirianni, like for some of the things I've said, like to fire him simply. Like the fact that he went through the fire and came out of it in looks like this is something within itself. It shows that he's made for this city, man. The fact that he could, whatever he needed to do, shave his head before the Cleveland game,
right.
Go ball, get feisty with the media, whatever, ended up settling in just like the team settled in, because those first 4 weeks were frantic. At the end of the day, you had 2 new coordinators, you had a bunch of new talent, especially on the defensive side of things. And now we have a defensive player of the year candidate and Zach Bond. Like, these are the things that have come to over the season that just couldn't play out that fast at the beginning of the season. So I will apologize to Nick, because like 2 Super Bowls in 3 seasons, 4 seasons, whatever, right?
TR's point. He's the only Eagles coach to get to 2, brother.
Multiple, right?
I was talking about this with my grandfather yesterday, like at the end of the game, as like we could sit down at this point. And we were up 25 in the fourth quarter. We could sit back and go, this is happening, right? I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, I feel blessed and lucky to have seen this much success in my lifetime. And then my little cousin's there. He's 12, I think, 11. And I'm like, you are spoiled beyond belief with the success and the big games you have witnessed, right? And then I'm like, to my grandfather, I'm like, how many have you witnessed? Like, just getting to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I think we were at 5. And this is the 4th since I've been alive.
Yeah.
We were at 5 or 6. That's how rare it is for teams and the Eagles to get where they are, which is why you celebrate and soak this in, even though the job's not done. But the point is, man, Nick's the only coach to get there twice. We have all the numbers and stats and records of he's the second winningest coach through 4 years in NFL history, just behind, I forget who. He's ahead of Andy Reid. Andy Donovan, 4 straight NFC championship games, a Super Bowl appearance. Great. Andy Reid was not recognized as one of the greatest head coaches of all time until he transitioned to Kansas City and got these rings here and is with Patrick, etc. Andy, obviously, his time had to come to an end. Things were going sour here. Doug obviously gives this city their first Super Bowl. Philly, incredible moments. Nick Sirianni, if he raises this Lombardi in 13 fucking days, will be the greatest head coach in Philadelphia Eagles history. Bottom line, period.
Yeah. I think the proof is in the pudding, man. He wins football games. His players love him. I think the writing's on the wall with Nick Sirianni. I think he's a good football coach.
Yeah, like you said to me before the show, right?
Yeah.
Right, like CJ Gardner-Johnson having that embracing, right? CJGJ having that moment with him on the sideline after the game, and
you don't do that with people you don't trust. So I don't know, man. It is astonishing when you think about some of the things that he's done throughout his time here, but that's who he is. And at the end of the day, man, it's kind of something that we talked about all season, but I would rather have him than Dan Campbell at the end of the day leading my team. So take that for whatever it's worth, whatever, right? Sirianni has honed it in. He's grew up a lot this season. He's matured, even from the to the Super Bowl. He's matured.
Yeah.
I guess after the Super Bowl visit, you come out of it with a little bit of arrogance, and maybe that's what we saw last year.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit at the beginning of the year. Maybe you get humbled as the flame heats up, right? The talk around town heats up, and it from that. I just think he turned it on in a sense. I
think Nick has become the adult in the room that this team needed to mold everything together, because he's not a defensive guy. We don't want him in charge of the play calling. That's Kellen's job, right? We don't want him getting in the way. So what does he do, right? I think he's perfected that role, that CEO-like role, awesome, over the course of the season. And I think you go back to the first Super Bowl. We all remember, right, when it's like a timeout, a review, or a challenge, and he's barking or saying something over towards the Chiefs, and Jalen has to pull him, and Nick's laughing, but you could tell it rubbed Jalen the wrong way. You have last year, after we beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead on Monday Night Football, and he's yelling at fans and reporters as he's walking down the tunnel after the win. The Browns game this year, it's like he was immature. And I think he's just become much more mature, but much more businesslike, much more serious, much more task at hand, much more just the mold that keeps it together. And I think that's the difference, man.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think just to kind of piggyback off what you said, being the adult in the room, I think it's one of those things where it would be hard, especially when you start with such great success at the beginning of your coaching career. With this unit, you can almost turn into a fan, and that's what he was looking like at times as a head coach, though. And at the end of the day, as fans, we hold our head coach of our football team to a higher standard than we are going to hold to ourselves as fans, right? And he has to be that guy in the building, like you said, the adult in the room. And I just think that's what we've seen over the last few weeks. He's been calm, cool, and collected when talking to the media, when interacting with the players on the sideline. He's been kind of the just like the veteran in the room, man. It's exactly what he's supposed to be. it's looking like we're going to get to keep both of our coordinators. This is a great time, man. It's a very good time for this Eagles organization. To your point, man, you got to get this W.
Yeah.
You got
One
to.
more.
You want to be in that combo with like the Patriots and the Chiefs. You're still not necessarily there, but you want to be in that combo of like consistent teams of the last 20 years. Get multiple Super Bowls in the last 20 years.
Yeah. And it's your third in the last 7 years. It would be your second win in the last 7 years. 2 times being there in the last 3 against the same opponent, this dynasty that's being built, right? Going for history, going for the 3-peat that you would stand in the way from. You would be the team, the coach, the players, the quarterback that stand in the way from our generation's best quarterback, best player, one of the greatest head coaches of all time. You would stand in the way of that. You would stop that, just like you beat the GOAT of probably both the greatest quarterback of all time and the greatest head coach of all time, like you did last time. To Carl's point here, historically, here's what I know. Eagles lost to New England in 2004 by 3. Rematch against New England, win. Eagles lost to Kansas City by 3. Eagles rematch with Kansas City the next time around. We're going to have 12 days to be talking about this game. I don't want to start to get into it yet, but it's exciting, man. Not to just be here, to have that day, to be a part of it, but finish it. Because here's the message I'll send. You don't normally get 2 shots at the king, Scotty. What do they tell you? You take a shot at the king, you best not miss. And they missed the first time around. And 2 short years later, here we are with another opportunity at a shot at the king, at a shot at standing in history's way. Get the fucking job done, man.
He's not my king. He's
unfortunately, he's everybody's king because he stands in the way of everybody.
He's going down this time. He's not my king.
I love it, brother.
We're gonna make it so that the refs don't matter for this king. That's what we're gonna do. But no, you're exactly right. We're gonna have plenty of time to get into this game. Obviously, the tension's gonna build up. We had some Chiefs fans in here earlier. Had to ignore them. You can't derail.
No, I let the chat handle them. I let D-Rab and Martian handle those comments, because I did see a comment by that account basically saying, like, we have the refs in our pockets. If that's what you're gloating about, what are we doing here? What are we going to do over the next 12 days? If your boast is that you have the refs in your pocket. But this guy, listen, Craig, that guy will be a huge part of the discussion, because if we all remember, that ball game was 35-35 in the final minute before we were put away in heartbreaking fashion. And a certain player that you just mentioned wearing the number 26 was not in this backfield. We had 1,000+ yard rusher that year in Miles Sanders. We had a very good rushing attack. That ain't this, brother.
There's a lot of things.
That is not.
We're going to get into it over the next couple of weeks. There's a lot of things that are better.
You think? I mean, Scotty, let's put it this way, bro. Let's put it this way. The first time if the Eagles come out on defense to start the game and force the Chiefs to punt, they have already accomplished more than 2022's defense did in the Super Bowl. The Chiefs did not punt in that football game.
I think we have better coordinators now, too. I think we have better backup for Nick Sirianni now as well, man. Better defense, better running back, better rushing attack, better turnover percentage, all of it.
I can promise you our starting running back will not be finishing with that number next to his name this upcoming go-round. So we're an hour in, man. I could celebrate for the next 10 days with you and not click end stream and just keep going. But I think we will. I think we'll get out of here, man. Anything else you wanted to add to this celebration, to this Victory Monday?
No, just as Marshawn Lynch would say, line that shit up.
Yep.
That's exactly what it's going to come down to in the Super Bowl, just like it's what it's come down to every single week that the Eagles have played a football game this season, man.
Yep.
Line that shit up. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for the Super Bowl now. But this extra 2 weeks will definitely help us out. We could use the rest. Get Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens, get everything right. Jalen Hurts, all of these guys. Saquon, give him a little rest. A rejuvenated All right. Yeah, we'll get into it next week.
Look, I'll say this. Right. I'll say this. You see that date Jose has up there that we all have circled on the calendar right now, that big day?
Yeah.
It's Cooper DeJean's birthday. It's Saquon's Barkley's birthday. And guess what, bro? That Friday, February 7th, it's your boy's birthday. So when we're talking about this matchup, we're already going to be in celebration mode for the weekend. So we got a lot to get into, man, as we keep going on. We'll have a bunch of different parties, bunch of different podcasts and shows. Maybe we can do some like mini series stuff over the next 2 weeks, just quick, clips we can get out there on the YouTube and stuff, breaking down just different stuff about this game and position battles and matchups, keys and stuff like that. So obviously we'll have
the undefeated Sixers over the weekend.
You got a gun I can borrow?
Fuck Josh Harris, bro. Dead ass.
Probably gonna get this show booted off of YouTube.
Josh Harris podcast,
man. Yeah. That is a good way to end it because
let's go Birds.
The Phillies posted for the Eagles, the Flyers posted for the Eagles. I think even the fucking Union posted for the Eagles. Probably. The Sixers were the only team not to post something for the Eagles yesterday. Obviously, Josh Harris has stake with the Washington Commanders, so you're very fucking corny. Like, you can't ignore that. Like, that's the only reason that shit wasn't posted. There's no other explanation for it besides the fact that one of their majority owners has something to do with the opponent of yesterday's
game. We'll continue to ignore the Sixers for our sanity and because fuck Josh Harris and because go Birds. Like,
go Birds, brother. Yeah, go Birds. I'm going to soak the next 2 weeks in with you guys and enjoy every moment of breaking down this matchup and continuing the celebration as the week goes on. Next week.
We'll be in New Orleans all week taking questions.
Yeah, because they probably won't fly out to New Orleans until like Wednesday or something like that. Tuesday maybe. This week they'll have
the weird ass questions.
Yeah. Just the stupid shit. But it'll be nice to have the Eagles represented again because as media week drags along, it's always cool to see clips of your team being there.
Exactly.
And your fans being there compared to some random team I don't give a fuck about. So
exactly, bro. Enjoy. Right. Soak it in. Soak it in. Yeah. That's
a great message. It's a great message, man. Just enjoy this team.
Yeah.
Like, I know we've talked about it and we've had a lot of Victory Monday shows to discuss. Dude, this team has now won. Help me out here. We were 2-2. We're now 17-3 on the year. So we're what? We're 15-1 in our last 16 football games.
With plenty of competition mixed in there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like, it's not just
Scotty, bro, that just doesn't happen. Like, it just doesn't fucking happen. So, one more to go. Job's not done. Shout out Kobe. Job's not finished. Let's get out of here. We'll talk to you guys throughout the week. Follow us on Twitter at DSM_media. Tweet at us. DM us, whatever you guys want. If you guys have anything, you want to talk about, if you want us to hop on and talk about anything specific, if you have any predictions, anything like that, send it our way. We'll make little videos. We'll do a live stream. We'll do whatever you guys want to get into. But, follow us on Twitter at DSM_media. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We keep adding a few subscribers every day. We're slowly growing. This Eagles run has helped us out tremendously. We appreciate each and every one of you. We appreciate the Birds winning for this to continue to happen. But also, like the Eagles winning a Super Bowl, job's not finished. Help us get to our first 200 and so on and so forth. So subscribe, follow, like, whatever you guys got to do. We appreciate you guys. Peace out, everybody, and go Birds.
Go Birds! Let's